Are you ready for your podcast to stand out among all the other podcasts that are out there? It starts with having a clear content strategy that keeps listeners coming back for more. So, today I'm sharing how to plan your podcast content strategy for long term growth so you can stay consistent, attract the right audience, and never run out of episode ideas. Hey, I'm Liz Chapman, and I help entrepreneurs launch and grow podcasts that captivate their audience and build their business. If one of your fears about launching a podcast include what the heck am I going to talk about each week, then this video is for you. But first, if you're wondering how ready you are to launch a podcast, I've got a quick and fun quiz for you. Head to the description below and take my How Ready Are You to Launch a Podcast quiz to get personalized feedback on your next steps. All right, let's dive into the 5 steps to creating a powerful content strategy for your podcast. The best podcasts have a clear focus. You don't want to talk about everything. You want to be known for something specific. That's why the first step is defining your core themes. So, what are your core themes? You've probably heard this several times. They're your core themes, they're your content buckets, but these are the main topics you're going to talk about on your show, which are based on your expertise and your audience's interests. So, how are you going to choose these core themes? Think about what you're passionate about and what people ask you about all the time. So, what problems can you help your audience solve? Look at successful podcasts in your niche. What themes do they focus on? So, for example, if your podcast is about business growth, your themes could be marketing, mindset, productivity, scaling strategies. If your podcast is health focused, you might talk about nutrition, fitness, mental wellness, and sleep. So once you define these, planning content becomes so much easier. Next, you need to get crystal clear on who your podcast is for, because if you try to talk to everyone, you end up talking to no one. So ask yourself, who would benefit the most from your podcast? What are their biggest struggles? Where do they hang out online? Are they on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok? So, for example, if your audience is entrepreneurs, their pain points might be time management, marketing overwhelm, and scaling their business. The more you understand your audience's struggles, the easier it is to create episodes that they can't wait to listen to. Now, let's talk about some episode format ideas. Now, let's talk about some different ways that you can format your episodes, and you can have a variety of episode ideas. So, you'll likely have a lot of solo episodes where you can teach about what you're an expert in, share your insights, or tell a personal story. You can do interviews. You can bring in industry experts for different perspectives. You can do Q&A sessions so you can ask questions on your social media channels and then answer them on your podcast. You can do case studies so you can share success stories to inspire your audience. If you're a coach, you can bring on listeners for a free 15-minute coaching session. And this showcases what you're an expert in, and it will show your listeners what it would be like to work with you in the future. So here's an example of a mix of content. Week 1, you could do a solo deep dive on a key topic. Week 2, you could do an expert interview. Week 3, you can answer a listener's question. And then week 4, you can do a case study or success story or your coaching session. So by mixing formats, it keeps your content fresh and engaging. Consistency is one of the keys to podcast growth, and the best way to stay consistent, a content calendar. So when I set up content calendars, I like to use Airtable for this with my clients. So you're going to choose your schedule for your podcast, weekly or bi-weekly. You're going to batch record your episodes to save time. Then you're going to plan seasonal or trending topics in advance. So, for example, if your podcast is about marketing, you might align episodes with major industry trends. So, like an episode on social media trends for 2024, and then you can do that in late December or early January. Having a plan reduces that stress and keeps your podcast on track. Let's talk about working smarter, not harder. Once you've recorded an episode, maximize its reach by reposting it. So you can turn it into a YouTube video, you can break it into Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikToks. You can summarize it in a blog post for SEO. You can share a clip in your email newsletter. You can create pins on Pinterest because Pinterest is a search engine and you can drive that traffic back to your podcast. So, for example, if your podcast is about launching business, you can take a 10-second soundbite from your episode and turn it into an Instagram reel with a call to action. So, the more places your content lives, the more people you'll attract to your podcast. All right, let's recap. So, to create a podcast content strategy that helps grow your podcast, you want to define your core themes, know your ideal listener, plan a mix of engaging episode topics, use a content calendar to stay consistent, and then optimize and repurpose your content so you can maximize your reach with it. If you follow these steps, you're going to come up with lots of ideas to talk about on your podcast. And if you need help launching your podcast, my Podcast Launch Simplified course is opening the doors on March 17th. And inside, I will share the exact steps to create your core themes, know how to define your ideal listener. I'll teach you how to create 6 months of episode ideas so that you know exactly what you're going to talk about, and you'll have a roadmap on how to repurpose each podcast episode. You can join the waitlist in the description below or go to podcastlaunchsimplified.com/yes. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to planning your podcast content? And if you're wondering how ready you are to launch your podcast, take my free quiz, How Ready Are You to Launch a Podcast Quiz, which will give you personalized next steps so that you know exactly what to focus on. The link is in the description below. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more podcasting tips every week, and I'll see you in the next video.